Okay, welcome to Monday Expert YouTube channel. And today we're discussing Monday Sales CRM versus Salesforce. And we're going to compare and contrast the two. But let me introduce myself first. My name is Rick Apacherick. I've been a software engineer, solutions architect, project manager, product owner, and program manager. And I've also had some consulting experience. I'm a top talent consultant, founded 3 tech agencies, been a Salesforce product manager, and I am a certified Monday.com partner. So the objectives of this video series is actually going to be multiple videos. In this video, we're going to compare and contrast Monday.com Sales CRM to the industry gold standard Salesforce Sales Cloud. And we're going to compare using a baseline of features and functionalities that are typically CRM requirements for the typical business. We're going to compare licensing costs, development costs, and other costs. Okay, so the upcoming video, which is going to be part 2, will be more of a thorough overview and walkthrough and demo of the Monday.com Sales CRM, and along with common integrations, automations, the mobile app, and some gap analysis of what's actually missing or could be improved. So let's start with the baseline for a typical business. So when I say typical business, I'm talking about small, medium-sized business. Although Monday.com can be used for enterprise customers, Salesforce is definitely targeting larger businesses. And you can see this in the pricing once we go over the pricing. But typically we're talking about if your company has anywhere from 5 to 100 employees, Monday.com and Salesforce will definitely serve your requirements. So having said that, here are the requirements. So basically a business that's really needs to manage like the number of leads they get and the number of sales they're doing every day. The data can be overwhelming. And that's why you need a CRM, is you need to stay on top of all these things. Now, here's a list of the things that normally an organization that needs a CRM is looking for. So number 1, keeping track of leads. Number 2 is lead routing. So this is the concept of if you're getting 100 leads a day, and let's say you have multiple offices around the US, let's say you have an office in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, you want to route those leads to the appropriate office so that they can handle those leads. So that could be based on the phone number or the business location of the incoming lead itself. That is highlighted in white because all of these are basically available in Salesforce. However, it can be implemented in Monday.com Sales CRM, but it's not out of the box. They do offer this in their enterprise licensing, but as you will see once we go through the licensing, we're not comparing the enterprise license. We're actually comparing the pro license. Okay, so the next one is keeping track of contacts. So that's anybody you would correspond with, talk with, an individual that might work at a company. So you might actually talk to, let's say you have a client company and they have 100 employees, but you talk to maybe 5 or 6 of those people regularly. So those would be contacts, and the accounts would actually be the companies themselves. Sales activity tracking. Okay, this is a very important thing. This is keeping notes of all your meetings, all the sales calls, all the email correspondence, maybe even some email marketing stuff. All of this will be tracked in the normal CRM, and both of these platforms support that. Integrations with other platforms, extremely important because you will want to integrate with your digital tool set, things like Slack, things like Gmail, Outlook, anything that you might already have that you use in your day-to-day process to run the company. You want to integrate with the CRM so you can reduce the amount of manual work and then also automate things to make things go faster and to have your team work more efficiently. API access, which means the ability to call into or programmatically call into the system itself and have things done. So for example, if something's not available in native integration or something that's you want to customize, there's something special that you guys do. Perhaps it's a software that you already have for your company or your organization that is not supported, and you want to manually have someone write code that inserts records or modifies records based on what happens in that system, or maybe the other way around, then that you would require API access. Email database for email marketing campaigns. This is also another great feature where you can actually manage some of your outreach emails and send emails to customers based on certain criteria, search for a subgroup or a certain group. Maybe you're having a promotion in Chicago and you want to send out emails to all the customers that you have or leads that you have who are in that area, and you don't really want to contact people in Los Angeles. So that would be one use case. Both platforms have the ability to send emails, and Salesforce also has another product which is called Marketing Cloud, but that's a separate licensing cost that's associated with that, and that we're not discussing that. We're just discussing just basic email marketing campaigns. Sales pipeline, opportunities or deals. So basically, you want to be able to size, keep track, and sort by monetary amounts or some other attributes of your contracts or your opportunities and deals. Also, the urgency or priority. This is an important thing so that your sales team can focus on the right things. Okay, so continuing on with the baseline requirements. Also, there will be a requirement for reporting. So you'll want to be aware of how the team is performing, how many deals have been closed. Are you on target? If you set some KPIs in the beginning of the year or the quarter, you want to keep up on these kind of stats. So that includes also sales forecasts. So if you know that you close a certain amount of percentages of deals, you can basically project out how much revenue you're going to make in a certain time frame. Historical sales, you can base that on historical data, which you can go back and look at what was the performance of the last quarter or the last year. Clients ranked by business value. You can also rank and sort and search by account values. How much business do these companies or these accounts do with you? Sales team performance, individual sales person performance or team performance. So you could compare maybe the Chicago sales team versus the New York sales team. Marketing campaign performance. This is something else that's also important. Out of the emails that you send, how many people actually opened the emails? How many people actually responded? So you can get some kind of statistical analysis on your marketing campaigns. Email efficiency tools. So these things such as email templates. So if you're sending out a lot of emails all the time, you don't want to have to rewrite them all the time or copy paste. One of the features that are commonly offered in CRMs are email templates, which basically are just templates as like it sounds, and then it just interpolates the name or the data that you need into that message. So it looks a little bit more personalized and it sends the email for you. So you basically, and also you have the opportunity to modify it prior to sending. So you can actually customize it even further. But at least you have a good starting point and you don't have to waste time doing that. Tracking opens, seeing if the emails have been opened. Also tracking correspondence, that's an important feature that's also available. Gmail and Outlook integration, because most businesses nowadays have their teams on either Gmail or Outlook. Keeping track of post-sales service inquiries or requests. So let's say you're a company who sells manufacturing equipment. Perhaps somebody needs service on one of their units that they purchased from you. Generally, there's a system where you can submit a request and the customer service department of your company will respond and assist your customer so that you keep that relationship good and healthy. The post-sales process management. So if let's say you're a tech agency and you do software development, so sometimes when you close the deal, it immediately rolls into another process or workflow that you have to set up with you and your client. So managing that's also important. If that's not built into the system, then you might have to use an additional system. It would be nice if there's something already built in, so you can just have it all built in one place, and then you can have the data for all of your customer activity in one place. And Monday.com actually this is where it really excels, is because it started out as a workflow management, project management type of software initially. And they added some features which we'll highlight to come up with their CRM product. Okay, so as mentioned before, Salesforce is the gold standard for CRMs, and they've been around for a long time, and their product is very tailored and very specific to CRMs. And we're talking about Sales Cloud in particular. The pricing for Salesforce, as you can see here, so the starting is $25 per month per user. The professional is $80 per month per user, and the enterprise is $165 per month per user, and the unlimited is $330. In Monday.com Sales CRM, the price starts at $10 a seat, and then standard is $14 a seat. Pro CRM is $27 a seat, and that's the one we're specifically discussing today. And the enterprise is you have to contact them and negotiate directly with Monday.com. There's a large difference between the prices of the subscription or license cost. Also, we're not done yet because we haven't taken into account the customizations, the automations and integrations, because those are the true things, the true power, the true enablers of your organization to be more productive and close more deals. And even though if you just basically installed or turned on Monday.com CRM or Salesforce, you could use it out of the box, but it might not serve all of your needs. It might not be integrated with Slack, or it might not be integrated with your email. So these things have to be implemented by either you, your team, or third party that you hire. Let's take a simple example. Calendly is a relatively well-known app, and what they offer is an easy way for your customers or clients or potential leads to basically schedule meetings with you or your sales team. And the way it works is that you and your sales team basically set certain time frames and dates and the availability of those time frames and dates. So let's say Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. through 7 p.m. So once you set your time, now any user, any potential client could go and open up your Calendly page, which can also be embedded on your webpage, and they can basically select the time that's most convenient for them. And that's also an available slot for you and your team. Something like that is relatively simple to implement. And the Calendly integration says that you actually need Teams or Enterprise account with Calendly. And you also need minimum the Salesforce Enterprise Edition. If you remember from before, we didn't actually highlight which licensing plan we were comparing with Salesforce. So since we're starting with the baseline requirements, and in this case, we're assuming Calendly is one of the existing tool sets that we use, it's going to require basically enterprise license. So based on that, it's $165 per user per month. For Monday.com, it would require the Pro, which we already highlighted before, is the $27 per seat per month. And from that article that we just saw from Salesforce Ben, we have the required plan of Teams or Enterprise. So we'll choose the cheaper one, Teams, which is $16 per user per month. Now, it's important to note that we have to use the Teams plan or higher for Calendly for integration with Salesforce. However, when integrating with Monday.com, that's actually not required because all you need is basically the custom integrations with webhooks, because really that's all that's required. If you take that into account, basically the standard is the minimum account that you need. Just with the Calendly integration licensing comparison here, we have Salesforce on the left with $165 per user per month, and Calendly Teams, $16 per user per month, which gives us a grand total of $181 per seat per month. On the other side, compared to Monday Sales CRM, we only need the Pro, which is $27 per user per month, and the Calendly Standard, which is $10 per user per month, which is $37 per seat per month. And that works out to be basically $154 difference per month, or $1,848 per seat difference per year. So that's one cost that you have to take into account. A typical Salesforce implementation is going to cost around anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000. And it's going to take at least 4 to 16 weeks. And the reason that takes such a long time and it costs significantly more is that Salesforce it requires actual development work. You need front ends, you need UI, UX, you need back end developers. So typically it takes actually we did a Calendly integration and it took 1 to 2 weeks, basically one sprint. Now let's compare that with a typical Monday Sales CRM implementation cost. Those are $1,000 to $5,000 USD, and they take around 1 to 2 weeks. And just to give you an idea, apples to apples, Calendly integration would basically take a day. Salesforce does offer significant advantages, and one of those is the user interface. The user interface is superior by far, in my opinion. And the reason for that is it's specifically for CRM. So everything has been well thought out, well designed, easy to use relatively. And this is basically one of the standard screens that you would see. So here it's actually not the CRM, it's actually the service console. So these are basically this incoming service requests. Monday's UI is more like Airtable or Google Sheets on steroids. You can see here it's basically a spreadsheet, which most people know how to use. And there's just some additional features and functionalities associated with it or built into this spreadsheet so that you can actually use it more like an app. But the basic concept is it is a spreadsheet. Now, they have added certain views or UI elements to make it more like a CRM. And actually, it looks very similar to the Salesforce CRM view. And here we have actually looking at one of the lead records. And you can see at the top, the green section here that I'm pointing out with the mouse. It's in Salesforce would be called the path. Many CRMs have this particular view because it's so well known. This is the status. You're trying to move this lead or this deal down towards the right until you get to basically qualified or won. This is an example of the custom views that Monday has added to their Sales CRM product that basically makes it more useful and more user-friendly. Monday.com also has advantages. It has better support for post-sales process and project management. As I mentioned before, it was originally designed as a project management tool and managing tasks and things like that. So that's already baked in, and they just kind of added more features to make it a CRM. So it can be used to manage post-sales processes and project management, especially for software development firms or manufacturing firms or even architectural firms or construction. So it's actually a very good solution to use for that as well. And this will also reduce your cost, which we haven't taken into account, but it'll reduce your cost because you aren't necessarily required to have a different system to manage those projects. So to compare Monday.com on the left and Salesforce on the right, you are required for Monday to have Pro or Enterprise license. We're comparing just the Pro license at this point in time in terms of cost. On the Salesforce, you need the Enterprise license. Monday has a very simple UI that's like spreadsheet-like, and Salesforce is much more polished user interface. There on Monday's email marketing is kind of limited, but it's close to what Salesforce offers out of the box. But Salesforce does have the option of going to the full-blown Marketing Cloud product, which is a very sophisticated system that allows things to be done with email marketing and automation that is just not available in Monday.com natively. There's limited reporting in Monday. So the dashboards, even though they do have dashboards, it's not as fully fleshed out as Salesforce. They really focused on the reporting aspect, and it's very well refined and can be customized, can be extended. The post-sales process and project management, as mentioned, Monday.com, I think is better because it actually was built for that initially. And then Salesforce is kind of limited. They do offer the service functionality or features. And then they also have Service Cloud, which is an additional product, which we haven't taken into account for the licensing cost. Now, the typical implementation, as I pointed out earlier, is 1,000 to 5,000 for Monday.com implementation. And for Salesforce, it's going to be anywhere from 10 to 50. In my experience, it's more like an average of 20 to 30. The implementation time is going to take like 1 to 4 weeks for Monday.com, whereas Salesforce is going to take at least 1 to 4 months here for this basic requirements that we've defined in the beginning. And the licensing cost per seat per month is going to be $37 per month for Monday.com, and it's going to be $181 per month for the enterprise license for Salesforce. Okay, just to recap, Monday.com Sales CRM is good for small to enterprise companies who like simple spreadsheet-like user interface and companies that have well-defined processes and need a project management solution in addition to their Sales CRM. Companies with smaller budgets are also going to probably prefer Monday.com, and the total cost per seat per month for the typical requirements that we've gone over today for Monday.com Sales CRM are going to be around $100 to $200 per seat per month. Larger companies are going to prefer Salesforce. It has a better polished UI. And companies that need really sophisticated targeting marketing solution who might want to consider Marketing Cloud, which is an additional expense, will probably want to go with Salesforce. Now, there are ways to integrate other marketing platforms with Monday.com that we haven't gone over yet. Things like MailChimp or other email marketing type platforms. And also, additionally, other marketing type platforms can also be integrated with Monday.com. The estimated per seat per cost per month for the typical requirements that we've gone over today for Salesforce is going to be around $250 to $400 per month. There's another option that I haven't gone over. Some companies actually use Salesforce as the Sales CRM, and then they use Monday.com as the project management platform, and the two can be integrated. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it informative, and please stay tuned for the next video when we fully demo the Monday.com Sales CRM product. Thanks, guys, and see you next time. Bye-bye.